Epic History TV's full of the Abbasids. Let's go. If you want to go see bonus or extended content, go over to our Patreon. Links in the description box down below.
A new dynasty seized control of one of the world's greatest empires.
That they did.
The Islamic Caliphate. Though little remembered in the West today, the Abbasids reigned for 5 centuries. They oversaw an era of Islamic military dominance, city building,
Beautiful
brilliant
city.
scholarship,
I'd love to go to
and technological innovation.
I'd love to go to Afghanistan.
It has come to be remembered
Afghanistan.
as Islam's golden...
Just all over, because you get to see the country in history, bro.
Afghanistan is like the east, where a lot of these buildings are like around Saudi Arabia, Iraq. It's the center part. Afghanistan's over here, so it's like the center part I want to go to. Yeah, like the Middle East, I would love to go and actually see some of the architecture and stuff there, but it is a bit busy at the moment.
Age. This is the story of the Abbasid Caliphate.
Let's go. Part 2. And Ali Rashid has sown among them the constant warfare, so woe to the subjects in the future.
The Abbasid Caliphate had flourished under the reign of Caliph Harun al-Rashid. And to ensure its continued success, he arranged his succession in a way that he believed would ensure stability and peace.
Now, how well does that go? That's
His
the
son,
question.
Muhammad, was to be his heir. But in a move common since the time of the Umayyads, he also named another son, Abdullah, as Muhammad's heir. It proved a recipe for disaster.
Okay.
In 809, in
Kill his brother so
Baghdad,
he can get the heir.
Muhammad succeeded his father as caliph, taking the title
And the other
Al-Amin,
brother's gonna kill
the
Muhammad.
trustworthy. His half-brother, Abdullah, became governor of Khorasan with the title Al-Ma'mun, the trusted one. Rival
Can he be
factions
trusted?
soon formed at both courts.
There we go.
In Baghdad, Al-Amin's advisors urged him to remove his brother from the succession. And just a year into his reign, he tore up his father's arrangement.
Ooh, okay.
Al-Ma'mun was furious. Fraternal distrust exploded into civil war.
Okay. Maybe.
Al-Ma'mun's
He could be trusted, I
Khorasani
don't know.
forces won a great victory against a much larger force at Ray and marched on to besiege Baghdad in 812. After a bloody year-long siege, the city fell. Caliph Al-Amin was captured as he tried to flee and executed. Initially,
Yeah. Ooh.
Al-Ma'mun ruled the caliphate from his old base at Merv. Here, in an effort to widen his support after the civil war, he fostered a new alliance with the Alids. This powerful family was descended from Ali, 4th caliph and son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
They'd later become leaders of Shia Islam, the branch of Islam that believes true spiritual authority belongs to Ali's descendants. Instead of traditional Abbasid black, Al-Ma'mun's court began to wear green, a color associated with the Alids.
Okay.
Al-Ma'mun even married 2 of his daughters into the Alid family and made Alid Imam Ali al-Rida his heir apparent.
Okay. Okay.
But these policies sparked hostility back in Iraq and led to major revolts in Baghdad. After 6 years, the Caliph moved the capital back there to restore order
Smart.
and abandoned his Alid alliance.
Oh, maybe not so smart.
Al-Ma'mun is also remembered for his attempts to impose a new religious doctrine on the Caliphate.
That's
He
always going to be
first
difficult
invited
to do.
distinguished scholars to Baghdad to discuss theological issues,
Okay.
such as the deeds of the companions of the Prophet, the hadiths, and the nature of the Quran.
Interesting.
However, his pronouncement that the Quran was at some point created by God, rather than co-eternal with God, encountered bitter resistance. 18 years of religious persecution followed, a period known as the Minha, or Inquisition, which saw dissenting scholars imprisoned or even executed.
Oh.
In 833, Al-Mamun was succeeded.
I get why so many people were pissed off.
Yeah.
Because the Quran is a big thing in the religion of Islam.
Quran is,
and I think one of the massive things that the Quran and people who believe in Islam use against Christianity is the fact that the Quran is never, like, the message within the Quran hasn't been changed, but you can say that the message within the Bible has been rewritten by many people.
yeah.
So I understand why they got annoyed with this, someone trying to say that it was written by God himself and not co-written by the message or lives with God. So I understand that frustration.
By his brother, who took the title Al-Mutasim. He'd prove far less interested in theological debate than the clash of arms.
Ah, so he's taking things into his own hands. Warrior. When troops are all... Fuck you, camera. We're getting used to this new one. When troops are all of one race, danger arises. They lack zeal and they are apt to be disorderly. It is necessary that they should be of different races. Yeah, indeed.
The armies of the Abbasid Caliphate, renowned in battle, were drawn from both Arab and non-Arab subjects. The Khorasanis, soldiers of the frontier province of Khorasan, were the troops who'd helped propel the Abbasids to power during the Third Fitna, or Islamic Civil War.
Yeah.
Drawing on Persian and steppe warrior traditions, their ranks included both armoured infantry and heavy armoured cavalry, similar to European knights.
Okay.
The descendants of Khorasanis who settled near Baghdad were known as Abna al-Khorasan, sons of the people of Khorasan.
Okay, nice.
Famed as elite and versatile infantrymen, they formed the loyal core of the Caliph's army.
Yeah, very interesting.
Other notable contingents included the Dailamis, expert skirmishers from the highlands of northern Persia. While African troops, including military slaves and Muslim converts from Ethiopia, fought as heavy infantry, armed with shield, sword, and spear.
Yeah.
The great Caliph Harun al-Rashid was known to have an elite bodyguard of 40 African soldiers.
Interesting.
Abbasid armies were particularly skilled in siege warfare and made expert use of catapults, mangonels, and battering rams.
Yeah. Is that a bomb on that?
I think
They
that's
even
it.
had specialist
Or a
troops
like
armed with
crossbow,
naphtha,
radar.
Yeah, that is exactly what it
petroleum-based
is.
fire weapons. No contemporary illustrations are known, but they're thought to have been similar to this slightly later Byzantine illustration.
Interesting.
The 9th century, however, would see changes so radical that some historians have termed it a military revolution.
How so?
During the civil war between al-Rashid's sons, al-Mutasim had begun to expand his military retinue by purchasing Turkish slave soldiers. His favorite supplier was the Samanid family, governors of Transoxiana. These slave soldiers were seized from their villages as boys, or bought in slave markets, then sent for intensive military training alongside an Islamic education.
Okay.
They emerged as formidable cavalrymen and superbly skilled mounted archers.
Nice. Strong.
Al-Jahith, a contemporary, wrote of them with awe. The Turks are as good as others with the lance, and in addition, if 1,000 of their horsemen are hard-pressed, they will loose all their arrows in a single volley and bring down 1,000 enemy horsemen. No body of men can stand up to such a test.
Strong. These are the guys you want fighting on your side, Jack.
Historians dispute the exact timeline, but at some point in the 9th century, these Turkish slave soldiers, known as Mamluks, had come to form an elite corps within the Abbasid army.
The Mamluks are a dynasty that take over later on, and they've got an incredible warrior that fights against Genghis Khan. Like, not Genghis Khan, against the Mongols, and I think it's against Kublai Khan.
One that was personally loyal to the Caliph and could be used to intimidate his political rivals. Turkish officers, despite their initial outsider status and ignorance of Arabic language and customs, began to wield huge influence at the Caliph's court. This offended the old nobility, many of whom also stopped receiving traditional diwan payments for their military service. The discontent even pushed some soldiers to riot in the streets of Baghdad. To ease tension, Al-Mutasim constructed a new city for the Turkish military elite, Samarra. This was where he garrisoned the Turks and rewarded their commanders with land. And it's where, in 848, work began on the world's largest mosque and its famous spiral minaret. Al-Mutasim's reliance on slave soldiers to shore up his power had destroyed centuries of military tradition, and it had sown the seeds of future turmoil.
That would be beautiful to go see. But Iraq is
2 years later, the Caliph led his formidable new army against the old foe, the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire.
Yep.
The campaign ended in a great victory, the capture and sack of Amorium. O day of the Battle of Amorium, our hopes have returned from you, overflowing with honey-sweet milk, wrote Arab poet Abu Tamam. But even such victories failed to ease the tension between Turkish officers and Abbasid nobles. Some nobles even plotted to overthrow Al-Mutasim and expel the Turks. But their conspiracy was discovered, and they were executed.
Yeah. Oops.
Can't have that.
No. The Turks must have become masters of the realm. The world must fall silent and obey.
Al-Mutasim was succeeded by his eldest son, Al-Wathiq. Following his unexpected death, a second son, Al-Mutawakkil, took the throne, backed by the Turk generals. They'd hoped for a pliable puppet, but instead, Al-Mutawakkil decided it was time to reassert caliphal authority.
Okay.
On his orders, several Turkish leaders were assassinated, and he tried to use Arab and Armenian troops to counterbalance their influence. But the Turks struck back. In 861, the Caliph was assassinated by his own bodyguards.
It's always worse when it's your own bodyguard.
The chaos and civil war that followed is known as the Decade of Anarchy. 4 caliphs took power, all puppets of the Turkish military elite. Each, in turn, was violently overthrown. Order was only restored with the accession of Caliph Al-Mutamid in 870. But the anarchy had irreparably damaged the Caliph's authority.
Yep.
Even before the Abbasids came to power, the vast caliphate had struggled to maintain control of its many regions. Abbasid authority west of Egypt had long been largely theoretical. But now, multiple major uprisings broke out as local governors and warlords staked out their own claims to rule.
Yep.
Egypt, fertile and prosperous, was an early casualty, lost to a rebel Turkish commander who founded his own Tulunid dynasty. In southern Iraq, a major revolt broke out among agricultural slaves from Eastern Africa, known as Zanj. The 14-year uprising devastated the region and severely disrupted Abbasid tax income and Baghdad's food supply.
It's your centre at the start.
In Afghanistan, a coppersmith named Yaqub al-Safar made an astonishing rise to power, founding his own Safarid dynasty and conquering much of eastern Persia.
But being a coppersmither to ruling an area of a caliphate.
The right time to do it.
Yeah. That's the type of story me and Jack want.
His advance was only halted at the Battle of Deir al-Akur in 876. In such turbulent times, Abbasid caliphs struggled to impose their authority.
Just losing power everywhere.
But there were some successes. Caliph al-Mu'tadid engineered a brief Abbasid resurgence, thanks to military campaigning and shrewd diplomacy, notably his marriage to the daughter of the Tulunid ruler of Egypt. She was the celebrated Qutr al-Nada. Her name means dewdrop. One scholar described her as one of the most intelligent and regal women who ever lived.
He liked her because she looked pretty though.
When al-Mu'tadid told his bride, "You've done well for yourself by marrying the Caliph. What more could you thank God for?" She replied, "You've done well for yourself. This makes my father your subject. What more could you thank God for?" Her bold response was a sign of her character, as well as the delicate new balance of power between Abbasid caliphs and some of their more powerful subjects.
Banter is key.
Banter is key, yeah, but she it is true. It's only working because he needs
During
power.
the reign of al-Mu'tadid's son, al-Muqtafi, Tulunid Egypt was fully reabsorbed into the Abbasid Caliphate.
Nice.
But elsewhere, the news was dire. Abbasid authority collapsed in Arabia, where one Shiite group, the Qarmatians, even began attacking pilgrims on their way to Holy Mecca. They stole the Black Stone, the Holy of Holies, from the Kaaba. A terrible blow to Abbasid prestige.
No fucking clue how they've stolen that. It's fucking massive.
What?
How have they nicked that? Fucking hell.
That's it. That is either some Ocean 11s or Fast and Furious
I've seen
shit.
videos of where that is, like on the Pilgrims. And
Yeah, man.
insane.
It's insane. I've seen pilgrims go there before. I'm just thinking of a Fast and Furious job, but Fast and Furious 5.
What, with a horse and wagon?
A horse and wagon, and what they've done is they've like connected to the back, and like the safe in Fast and Furious.
That must have been how they done it. There's no way you're getting that out.
No. There's 9 horses pulling that fucking thing.
Fucking 900. Jesus.
In Central Asia,
I want to know where they took it.
What? That's it. Like, because I'm telling you now, I'm getting 10, maybe 20 miles looking back and going, why have we stolen this? What
Have
are
you
we
seen the drag
doing?
mark in the sand behind us? It's not going to be hard to follow, is it?
Yeah, literally. You go for another 10 hours, you look behind, they're like, they're here, they're coming to get it back. They've got more men than us,
How
Dave.
far have we got? About 30 feet.
I see you. You haven't liked the video yet. Why not? Go on. Go like it. While you're at it, you know you want to subscribe. And if you want to go to our social medias, all the links you need are in the description box down below. And you might as well head over to our Patreon as well, where you can get extra bonus content if you're enjoying this. That link's in the description box down below. But we'll get straight back into the video. Love you guys.
Persian Samanids carved out their own empire and declared independence. This was the height of the so-called Persian Intermezzo, when native Persian dynasties ruled in Persia once more. Increasingly, the Abbasid Caliph was said to reign, but not rule. He'd become a symbol without power, often under the thumb of his vizier.
Shit.
By the 930s, the Caliph had lost control of both the civilian administration and army command,
Just being
which was handed over to a new official, the Amir al-Umara, commander of the commanders.
Yeah, you've lost all your fucking power now.
The final humiliation came in 945. The Buyids were Shiite warlords from the Dailam mountains of northwestern Persia. But their first success was in Fars, before they went on to seize control of Persia and Iraq.
Yeah, man.
Their triumphal entry into Baghdad was a deep humiliation for the Sunni Abbasids.
Yep.
Yet they retained the title of Caliph, as no more than figureheads under Buyid command, and spectators to these turbulent times.
Shit. Literally lost all their power.
2 decades later, another Shiite dynasty, the Fatimids, swept along the North African coast, conquered Egypt, and founded Cairo as the capital of their own caliphate. Some historians label this the Shiite century, with Shiite dynasties ruling twin caliphates and dominating much of the Muslim world. But it was not...
What, in total?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but what he's saying here is, remember that split between Shiites and Sunnis I said in the last episode? The Shiites are the Buyids and the Fatimids, and they believe that Ali's line of descendants and family tree are the rightful rulers, whereas the Sunni believe it was the other choice that they went with. So basically, these are the Sunnis, and they're the ones that are losing power at the moment. So 2 rival dynasties are there, and then these are just Arab freelancers, I think. But obviously, this is Qatar. And then this is like Saudi Arabia around here, I believe. So current day, this stays Sunni, and then Iraq here stays Shiite, I believe.
To last, a dangerous new Sunni power was poised to burst out of Central Asia, the Seljuk Turks.
The Sunni revival, okay?
The Seljuk Turks were pastoralists, nomadic livestock farmers from the Central Asian steppe.
Crusader Wars.
They were fierce warriors who became champions of Sunni Islam. At the end of the 10th century, possibly in response to climate change, they swept south into Khorasan. The Ghaznavid Empire, successor to the Samanids, was first to fall. The Seljuk Turks were unstoppable, surging westwards across the Persian plateau, taking Baghdad and toppling the Buyids, crushing a Byzantine army at Manzikert, and forging the great Seljuk Empire. Their triumph was tempered by the arrival of European crusaders, who took Jerusalem in 1099 and carved out a series of crusader states. One Shia sect, shrouded in legend, struck back at the Seljuks with deadly precision. In 1092, Nizam al-Mulk, vizier of the Seljuk Empire, was killed by the Order of Assassins, its hit squad disguised as Sufi mystics.
Yeah, shit.
The Assassins, or Hashashin as they're known in Arabic, were a new Ismaili military order formed in the mountains of northwestern Persia. Facing powerful enemies, but without an army of their own, they turned to subterfuge and assassination to achieve their goals.
Sometimes that's all you need, my man.
Many fanciful stories are told about the assassins, but the order was real and feared, and responsible for scores of political murders over the next 2 centuries.
Mate, like I said, you just need some good assassins and you can fucking change the world. Look at the CIA.
Under the Seljuks, Abbasid caliphs continued to reign as spiritual leaders and figureheads. But the 12th century...
I heard about the bloke Tony Blair sent in to go look at the weapons of mass destruction when they first invaded. Some geezer basically said, he went there first time and he was like, there's nothing there. And he was like, no, go back and have a look. He's like, no, there's nothing there.
Is this in Iraq?
When they first invaded Iraq, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's true, I have no idea. But it was basically saying the geezer that went over there like 3 times and said, there's nothing over there, there's no weapons.
Yeah.
Was found pinned up against a tree in the middle of a woods, a couple of miles from his house, with wrists slit. But there was no blood around him, and the wounds weren't deep enough to kill him.
So what, you think it was Tony Blair?
Not Tony Blair done it, but he's all
MI5.
But the idea of like how easy it is for
I
agree. To be able to take people out.
But there were dirty bombs in Iraq.
Yeah,
there
but
were
no weapons of mass nuclear destruction though.
We weren't.
That camera is just fucking.
It's right, we'll sort it out.
But yeah, it's just something that popped to my head. Because obviously, like the assassinations, like it's
I agree, but I'm 90% sure there weren't nuclear bombs, but there were things called dirty bombs, which are like chemical bombs, like horrible chemical bombs. And Saddam Hussein, that's who you're talking about in the Iraq War, and Saddam Hussein. That's the time period you're talking about.
2003 we invaded.
No, that was after the Twin Towers, and that was Afghan. Iraq invasion. Oh no, you are right. 2003. Fuck me. It was all kicking off at the same fucking time. Yeah, he had dirty bombs. I'm 90% sure he had dirty bombs. Yeah.
Saw the fracturing of the great Seljuk Empire. A familiar story of disputed successions and local governors making their bid for power. Sensing weakness, in 1136, Abbasid Caliph al-Muqtafi raised his own army to reassert Abbasid independence for the first time in nearly 2 centuries. He took control of Baghdad, and in 1157 held it against a Seljuk siege.
Nice.
After generations of foreign subjugation, the Abbasids had re-emerged as an independent power.
Okay.
But it would soon all come crashing down.
Yep. Oh dear.
They swept through the city like hungry falcons attacking a flight of doves, or like a raging wolves attacking sheep, as the population died at the hands of the invaders.
In the 13th century, a new force from the east tore through the Islamic world, scattering armies and destroying every city that did not submit to them. The Mongols.
Yeah. Mate, easily one of the scariest military forces
First to fall,
through time.
the Khwarezmian Empire, successor to the Seljuks, overrun by the Mongol hordes of Genghis Khan.
Mate,
By 1256, his
they
grandson, Hulagu, was poised to renew the onslaught. But first, he turned his attention to the assassins, rumored to be plotting his death. The order was scattered and crushed. 2 years later, Hulagu advanced against the Abbasid Caliphate. As his armies neared Baghdad, he sent a stern warning to Caliph Despite the Mongols' terrifying record of destroying any city that opposed them, Al-Mustasim decided Baghdad's walls could keep out any steppe nomads.
Fool of a toque.
He was wrong.
Yes, he was.
After half Baghdad's garrison was massacred in a disastrous sortie, the city surrendered. But Hulagu was in no mood for mercy.
Nope.
A contemporary chronicle.
If Mongols, basic principle. If I rock up to your gate, and
Open the door.
Open
give
the
me what
door.
I want. If not, I'm fucking emptying you out.
and
It's
worse,
done. Yeah.
and worse,
Don't fight back.
and
because I will
worse,
slaughter.
because I'm a show the next person
Yeah.
why you just need to give me my
The
shit.
people that get away from it will tell you, give him everything you fucking want.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Or the fact that no one gets away with it, and he can go look.
Yeah.
Described the horrors that followed. The
Mate.
people of Baghdad were put to the sword and subjected to 40 days of killing, pillaging, and enslavement. They tortured people to extort their wealth. They killed men, women, and children. A great part of the city, including the Caliph's mosque, was burnt, and the city laid in ruins.
They
The
do not
dead
care.
lay like mounds in the streets and markets.
Don't care. Mongols didn't care about leaving stuff behind or not. It was about
The
making a
death
fucking
toll is
statement.
unknown, but was in the many thousands. Allegedly, only Christians were spared, thanks to the intercession of Hulagu's Christian wife.
Lucky.
Baghdad's libraries were destroyed, their books and manuscripts, representing centuries of Muslim scholarship, were thrown into the Tigris River, so that it was said to run black with ink.
Yeah, man. All of that
Al-Mustasim
knowledge
was forced to witness this
lost.
terrible destruction.
just lost.
Then, according to several sources, he was rolled in a carpet and trampled to death, as Mongols feared to spill royal blood. The
Fucking
last
smart though. Fucking
Wrap them up in a
smart.
carpet so they don't touch the ground.
That's fucking smart. Like, hands up, hands down to them boys. That's intelligent. That's very smart. Savage but smart.
Savage and brutal. Imagine having 100 horses just wee.
He could have fucking thrown him over the wall and let his own people do it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Caliph of Baghdad was dead. Never again would the Abbasids hold meaningful political power.
Brother.
Al-Mustasim was not the last Abbasid Caliph. The line would continue under the Mamluk Sultanate that now ruled Egypt. But his successors in Cairo were merely ceremonial figures, religious leaders with little power.
Yep.
The last Caliph, Al-Mutawakkil III, surrendered to the Ottoman Empire in 1517 and was taken away as a prisoner to Constantinople.
Whoa. Didn't realise he'd become a
It
prisoner.
was a humiliating fate
What happened
for
to
a
him?
dynasty
Maybe
that
he died
had
in
once
prison.
Yeah, most
ruled one of
likely.
history's greatest empires. One that had dominated the Middle East, that had taken on and defeated the Byzantines in the west and Chinese in the east. That had overseen a great flourishing of scholarship, culture, technology and trade. And reigned over the era that is remembered as Islam's golden age.
What an important age it was.
For centuries to come, Islamic leaders would assert their legitimacy by claiming descent from this one towering dynasty, the Abbasids.
Damn indeed.
Thanks again
Wow.
to Raid Shadow Legends
fucking
for
crazy.
sponsoring this video.
Fucking amazing.
How
And
they
they-
were able to fucking clear through all of that, and just the savagery dominance.
Oh, brother, they were so savage. They just didn't give a fuck. Mate, absolutely amazing. So much culture come from that area,
Yeah.
and they did do their best to save as much information as possible. Fucking great series. always love Epic History TV, and that's another series over and done with. We've done the first episode, the second one, so we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, head over to Epic History Channel, links in the description box down below. If you enjoyed our reactions, you want to see more reactions, extended clips, bonus content, go over to our Patreon, that link's in the description box down below. And if you enjoyed this reaction, you need to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.